Howdy folks, my name is Janaki.
And this is Madame Bathsheba.
And together we are Catomancy Tarot. So hello, welcome. Today we are going to be taking a look at a brand new collage oracle. It's called the I Spy Oracle. It's by the same creator as Adapt Tarot, Delilah Miskey. And I pre-ordered this back in January before we knew what its full form would be, and it just came in the mail this week. So I'm excited to take a look and a deeper dive into this one. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to take you through the cards. We'll have a peek into the guidebook, and then the rest of the video is just going to be playing around with some fun pairings. So if that sounds good to you, then we'll go ahead and get started. So here we go. Alrighty, so today we're going to be looking at the I Spy Oracle. This is from Adapt Studio, so the same creator who made the Adapt Tarot. So this is a take on those classic 90s I Spy books, but in oracle format, which is very fun. I've been following this creator since I'm a big fan of the Adapt Tarot, and so she first started posting pictures of this at the beginning of the year and launched pre-orders in January, and I pre-ordered it then before I totally knew what this deck would look like. And it's finally here, so we're going to take a look at it today. If you pre-ordered the deck, she also sent original collage artworks from the Adapt Tarot, which I think is crazy that she would send out like original artwork for free. Whoa. And so I did get a print, and I wasn't sure which one I would get, but I ended up getting the Seven of Swords from the Adapt Tarot. Here it is. However, I was like super sad because she didn't package it very well, and it like super duper ripped and got very bent in the mail. She sent it just with this piece of cardboard, which was like way too small to protect it. So I'm like, uh, I feel awful. I like it's it's so cool to have an original piece of art, but like I um maybe you won't be able to tell how damaged it is if I put it in a frame, but anyways, here's our tiger friend. I don't know, if it feels like the tiger feels like a good card for catamancy, right? Anyways, I wanted to uh, you know, uh share that with you guys. So now we're gonna go ahead and look at the deck of cards. So it comes in this little top box. I like the color. I like this color green a lot. It looks like I've got 11 out of 50. So here are the cards. Here are the backs. And then this is the little booklet that goes along with it. And so for each of the cards, as we'll see, she's got the little I Spy like things to find in the image, which I think is super cute. Then she's got keywords, and then she's got a description, and that's for all of the cards. And she's got this picture of the card. I do really like the format of this guidebook. I think it's really pretty. I love this color green. I'm a big fan of this color green, and I low-key kind of wish the images themselves had a border that was that color green. Maybe that's just me. She ended up, she featured this deck on her Instagram channel quite a bit, and she did like a number of polls with like a bunch of different border options, and I think this is the one that she chose eventually. I'm also really happy that originally it was going to be tarot size, but I'm glad she went with this like oracle size card. So there is a lot of white space, but there's also a lot of white space in the Adapt Tarot, so I think that's just like kind of her jam. So this is I believe it's like a 45 card deck. the first 30-something cards are numbered, and then after that, she's just included the 33 numbered cards, and then plus the 12 zodiac cards. So I'll go ahead and walk you through the deck, and then the rest of the video is gonna be me playing around with pairings, because that's my favorite part. And I think I never actually said her name, Delilah Miski or Misk. I'm not sure the pronunciation on that, but all right, here we go. Here we have Angels and Guardians, Airflow, Crossroads, Clarity, Decay, The Collective, Fairies, Ether, Gold, Fertility, Flower Power, Green Man, Fear, Kitchen Craft, Molten, Monsters and Myths, Offerings, Cultivation. We have Portal Threshold, Resilience, Sea Voyage, Sensuality, Shadow, Silver, Sound Healing, Tree Magic, yes, Cosmic Relationship. I really like this one a lot. This one's really pretty. We have Lady Luck, Protection. This is another one of my favorite cards. The Ancients. Ooh. Warning. This one's fun. And then the Weaver is our last of the numbered cards. And then we get into the Zodiac cards, which she added kind of as a bonus. I kind of wish she just kept on numbering, but instead we have the elemental associations up here. So here we have our Aries card, Taurus, currently in Taurus season, Gemini, and then here's our Cancer card. I think this is my favorite of her zodiacal cards. Maybe I'm biased. I am a Cancer stellium, but I really like this Cancer card. I think it's a good one. Here we have our Leos, very fiery. Virgo, I like this little fox friend here. Libra, Scorpio. I feel like it could be a little spookier, but it's pretty fun. Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and then lastly Pisces. So that's the deck. It's not too many cards, but I feel like I was a bit worried before she added the Zodiac cards that it would be a very thin deck. Like 33 cards isn't a lot, but 45, it brings it to just like the threshold of acceptable. And it's a nice cardstock. I think it does have some kind of core. I'm not sure where she prints. I think there's like a printing company in the US that she uses, but I'm very happy with the quality. So let's take a look at how these guys shuffle. They're very flexible, very bendable, and the cards have a nice, they are coated, but not too shiny. They don't feel super duper matte, but I think that it is a matte cardstock. I'm not sure. I don't know about these finishes. But they shuffle very well. And yeah, I'm happy with the deck. I think it's a fun one. And I'll go ahead and show some deck pairings. I do we'll start with the Adapt Tarot because I think it's obligatory. When I first did my original video on the Adapt Tarot a couple of years ago now, I said that it reminded me of the 90s eyewitness TV shows with all of that extra white space. So that this creator would come up with an I Spy Oracle deck seems very apt. And as you can see, she does have this kind of unique relationship with white space that kind of characterizes these decks. But this is as far as I'm concerned, this is definitely a perfect pairing. You can tell it's similar sensibility, and I actually like that since the Adapt Tarot does have that just super unique borders, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of extra breathing room here. I do still kind of feel like having green borders would have been cool. She did have an option where every card had a different colored border, and then she also had an option where the backs of the cards bled over to the front in this style border as well, but I think she ended up going borderless, which I still do like. I'm just, I'm curious about what it could look like with these kind of I don't even know what color green this is, but I love it. It's one of my favorite greens. But yeah, I really enjoy how these look together. I think they'll read super well with one another. So I don't think it's too samey because they do just have this kind of very different feel. Yeah, I'm into it. What do you guys think? I think it's a great option. So we had to start off there. So for the rest of the decks, I've got, so I pulled out, including the Adapt Tarot, I pulled out 5 collage decks and 5 non-collage decks. Oftentimes I feel like collage just plays really well with other kinds of collage. So 2 of the collage decks I pulled out are actually older collage decks, and I feel like they'll go really well. The first one I've pulled out is classic oldie. This is the Voyager Tarot, and I've trimmed my copy. So I've trimmed, here I am going on about how it would be nice to have this color border on here, and I've gone and trimmed it off of this one. What do I know? This was actually one of the first decks I trimmed many, many, many years ago. And I do like the way it looks with just the titles. It had these keywords that were so far from my experience with Rider-Waite-Smith at the time that I just kind of couldn't deal and chop them off. Now I think it would be actually really cool to do the opposite and just keep the keywords and cut off the tarot associations and turn it into an oracle deck. I think that would also be really fun. I don't know, thoughts, but I think this is a pairing that goes also just works really well together. It's the Voyager is kind of I think it also has this kind of I Spy element that you could look at it for a while and say I spy a stork and a starfish and a hot air balloon, and you'd be like, whoa, and a rabbit. You wouldn't those are all things that you might not initially notice. So I feel like they both have that similar feeling where the longer you look at the images, the more you're like, a dolphin and an owl and the Sphinx. And you're like, what? How did they, like you wouldn't notice all of those things immediately. So I think I also really like this card. I love this, I love this like Greek squid guy. I think he's very cool. Anyways, so that is the Voyager Tarot, which I think is, goes super well. And then the next one is another oldie, another kind of Voyager Tarots from the 80s. Jumble Dance, I'm pretty sure, is it's 1988. So we've got this 90s collage deck here. And it's another one that has this kind of like I Spy vibe. Although these ones do have those like black borders, but I still think with the white it's like a little bit of a little bit of an inhale, a little bit of breathing room. I think this is another one that kind of goes well with the similar like I Spy 4 canopic jars, and you know, has a similar I Spy ethos to it. I don't get Jumble Dance out very often. It often feels like a little bit too crafty. I don't know how to explain it. But I am kind of digging it now that I've rummaged around and gotten it out. I think you could also swap in, like, I think Telesma would also go pretty well with this. I got out the Ritual Tarot, but I didn't like it at all. I don't know. It's something about the... We can look at it. I wasn't going to include it, but then now I'm talking about it, and I don't want to make you trust me on this, because maybe you'll have an entirely different opinion, which is very much allowed. But I don't know, to me it felt like I prefer like something about the borderless quality. Let's a little bit here. Yeah, I don't love it. I really don't like it. I really don't like it. What do you guys think? See, no. I think it goes better with something that's got a little bit more of I don't know, just a different vibe. Maybe the borders help. But another deck. Another collage deck with black borders is the Alchemy of Thoth. I'm a big fan of this deck. I know not everybody is, but I think I guess similar to the Jumble Dance. I think it works well. This deck feels like really textual. Like there's just a lot of really interesting textures going on with it. That makes it, I don't know, I think maybe with the Ritual, just that it doesn't have any borders. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but there is just a lot of white space going on here. But that's the Alchemy of Thoth. And then I was thinking about talking about collage decks with interesting borders. I think the one that I was really curious about is one deck that's known for its like intense borders is this one. This is the Goddess of Love Tarot. So let's take a look here. I actually don't hate this combo. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it, because the red of the borders does just like, they're definitely like statement borders, but I actually kind of really like it, and I think that the white space works well here. What do you think? I kind of really dig this combo. Yeah, I'm feeling it. I think it really helped. I think the borders like really help. Yeah, I mean, we've got lust, sensuality, and Queen of Wands here. So I think that's a go for sure. So those are the main collage decks that I think that work really well. I think it would also go well with like maybe like the Aquamarine or even the Sistine Tarot potentially. Actually, I was gonna try and be good and like be a little bit more curated and just do 5 collage, but like we're on a roll here, and I mentioned this, so like, you know, I don't want to say something and then you can't see it. So I think this also works. Like the white borders on these, I think really tie it together. It might be like really, really busy, but it's kind of cute. What do you guys think? I think it works. I think it works. Yeah, I think the Aquamarine is another one that would be fun to do this kind of like, you know, play I Spy with. Like we've got a tackle box, we've got a butterfly, which kind of matches with this butterfly. You know, we've got a jet and a high heel, you know. I don't know. It's a different way to kind of like engage with and just play around with the cards visually. And then I also mentioned, let's just take a look here. Here we've got my copy of the Sistine Tarot. I'm not sure about this one. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's gonna be my preference, but I shall let you decide. What are your thought feelings about this one? I don't love it personally. I don't love them together, but it's not bad. I just think some of the other collage decks I already showed go a little bit better. Whoop. All right, so we're shifting gears now. Those are all the collage decks that I had gotten out. And the rest of the decks I'm going to show you are different kinds of illustrated. I figure one thing I wanted to try, you'll notice that some of she's using in a few of the cards, she has, I'm pretty sure, cards from the what's it called? The like 1JJ Tarot Marseille. I'm forgetting what this deck is called, but like I know I don't have it. So 1JJ Swiss? Is that who that is? Pretty sure. So I thought I would try it with a Marseille, and I thought I would get out this Tarot Classic. I think that this is my Marseille deck that pairs the best with the widest number of Oracle decks. Maybe that's just me, but I kind of like this pairing. I'm curious what your thoughts are on it, but I think it's kind of fun. It's like it has this kind of like similar palette going on. I think it's a yes. I think it's very playful. I think the white space on this deck also makes it go really well. Yeah, I really like this one. I think this is one of my favorite pairings. Yeah, I haven't really been like reading with Marseille that often recently, but this, I'm filming this in Tars season springtime, so maybe I need to like keep this one out for like a little spring Marseille. So that was a Marseille deck. I already showed you Alchemy of Thoth for a Thoth deck, and so I figured I need to also try it with a Rider-Waite-Smith, and the one I have I keep in this pouch, and this is the JK Tarot, and it's another one that I think could work. It does have these like bright white borders going on. What do you guys think about this combo? I think it's kind of fun. This is, yeah, ever since I got this deck from their, I think they did a GoFundMe campaign. It's my new go-to Rider-Waite-Smith, and I think it goes well with this one. I think it's a fun combo. For sure. So that is the JK Tarot. The next two decks I want to show you, they're both vintage decks, and they're both out of print, so apologies for that. But as I was pulling things out and playing around with them, they both struck a chord. So the first one I wanted to bring out is a deck that I'm always in search of pairings for, because I think it's such a special deck, but it's hard to find a good friend for it. And that is the Kazanlar Tarot. And so this is the edition with the gold borders. And I actually, sometimes I pair this deck with the Adapt Tarot. I don't know, it just, so I was like, man, I gotta try it with this new one. And I really love this. This is also one of my favorite pairings that I've come across for this deck. Oh wait, we gotta go back. Look, we've got twin Krishnas playing the flute. See? I Spy can be fun. Also, look at the tree frog's feet. Very, very funky. Funky toes. Yeah, see, one of the things I wish for in the world is an oracle deck that has this kind of like gold borders. There isn't really one that I'm aware of. But I think this is a fun combo for sure that I wouldn't mind trying to read with. It's very colorful. I don't know. Am I crazy? Yeah, let me know which of these is your favorite pairing below. Love to hear your thoughts, or if there's something that I missed that you want to see. All right. So I just have 2 more decks. The next one is another vintage deck. It's a deck by, it's the Zigeuner Tarot by Walter Wegmuller. And it's another deck that has a ton of color and also white space. Whew. Maybe it's too much. But I think it's quite fun, actually. I dig it. I dig it. I think it works. See, it's another one that very colorful, very busy, and then we've got the little bit of a white for some like breathing space here. So that is the Zigeuner Tarot. And then lastly is a deck that I'm not too sure about, but figured we'd give it a whirl. Because it's another deck that I think does some interesting things with the white space. And that's the Dolly Tarot. Maybe I'm crazy. It's quite possible, but I kind of like this one. Maybe. I don't know. Now that I'm seeing it, I'm like, I'm unsure. But just a thought. I don't know. Maybe. I like this one. What are your thoughts? Anyways, that kind of brings us to a close for a day. I hope you've enjoyed getting to take a look at this very fun new little oracle deck. I think it's available on her Etsy page, which is where you can also pick up the Adapt Tarot. So there they both are. And I will see you guys all next time. Bye for now.